Okay, let's do another one. This is March 2024, just gone, the last one. And the diagram shows a crane jib, a crane jib AB with a load suspended from cable OB. Determine the angle A that the jib makes of the wall. So you do jib and tie cranes, but they're normally right angles, and we're going to have a look at those a little bit later. They look like this, and they need a bit more work on them actually. But this one is completely unrelated to everything else that we're doing. It uses more advanced trigonometry actually, non-right angle triangles. And I don't normally go into this into the course because you don't normally need them. You can get around these problems without learning it. Now, it might be useful to learn these more advanced trigonometry equations. So the one we're going to be using today is the cosine rule. So we won't look at everything because we don't need to look at everything, just one at a time. So this is the cosine rule. And it's more advanced than SOHCAHTOA, right? So you learn SOHCAHTOA for right angle triangles, and these are not right angle triangles, these are non right angle triangles. So the cosine rule is a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine A. It's quite a beastly little formula, quite chunky, but this thing's worth 8 marks. And if you know the formula and you can solve it, then you'll get the 8 marks on it. They literally just give you the points for just knowing the formula. Because it's more advanced, most people haven't got this far in the courses, so they just stop before they even get there. So if you can learn it, it's great. And like I said, a couple of extra points we can get on this, that'd be nice. So this is 4 meters, this is 9 meters. I guess we don't really need the meters, everything's in meters, and this is 7. And they're asking for determine the angle at A, which is down here, which is this guy. So I'm using ABC in my diagram, and they've got ABO. It just happens to be the same kind of setup actually, but you don't have to trust their ABCs. You can just relabel it. So how this works is that we're going to find this is the A side. So let's label up the sides of our triangle. So this over here is actually going to be the A, because this is going to be the angle A. Angles and sides are opposite each other. So these guys are going to be the B and C. It doesn't really matter which one's which. So we just put them in. And the one we're solving for then is we're solving for the angle. Okay, so we have to do a little bit of work to get in here. Tell you what, let me drag this across so we can plug the values into it. Okay, so let's give this a go. Let's see, a squared is going to be that 7, so 7 squared is equal to b squared, which will be 4 squared, plus the 9 squared minus the 2 times by 4 times by 9, because that's the BC, and then cosine of A. And this is what we're trying to solve for. I could leave it as A, I suppose. I would normally put this as an X and call this an X. So let's do that. I'm always solving for X. It saves me having to look for other letters. All right, now we're just going to crunch a whole bunch of numbers on this because some of these numbers can be calculated. So let me get my calculator and we'll start plugging these guys in. Well, 7 squared I know is 49, 4 squared is 16, this is 81, 2 times by 4 is 8, 8 times by 9 is 72, so minus 72 cosine x. Alright, I guess I didn't need my calculator just yet, but you should check this on your calculator because it's really annoying to make mistakes because of basic arithmetic error. Okay, now what you don't have to do is put all these guys together. This is the common error. It's so tempting to add these guys together and minus off the 72, but you can't because this 72 is multiplied by cosine. It's really tied in there, so you can't get into this just yet. What I can do is get these guys together. So let's add together 16 plus 81, 97. All right, that's cool, 97. And then we'll just drop all this down. And we'll pick it apart slowly. Next we're going to minus off the 97. So let me do that. Let me get 49 minus the 97, negative 48. Okay, great. So this is a negative 48 is equal to negative 72 cosine of x. Now we're going to divide down by that negative 72. That's going to make this positive. Okay, and then we're going to have, I suppose, 48 over 72 is equal to cosine of x. And then to solve for the cosine, we've got to use the inverse cosine. So cosine negative 1, all of this stuff will get me my x value, hopefully, 48 over 72. All right, I can just type it in like that, hopefully. So let me get my calculator. We'll do shift cosine to get the inverse cosine. 48 divided by 72, close those brackets up. We get 48.1 degrees. So that's the answer, 48.1896. Let's make that into a 7 degrees, which is that angle there. I think that's right. Probably is. Looks about 45 degrees. Doesn't look too big. And like I said, you basically just get the the mark for knowing the formula and then applying it. This is a slightly harder one because you have to work it backwards to get the angle, but it's not bad for 8 marks.